One of my personal favorite and beloved stories of patients that I've treated over the years is one of a young girl. Her name was Ginger, and when she came in to see me, her mom brought her in. She was diagnosed with a terminal disease. She actually was given a diagnosis of juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, which is a chronic autoimmune disease. And the doctors told her mom that she had about 6 months to live, and they sent her home to die. And when she was brought into my office, one of the first things we did is we measured for gluten sensitivity, and we measured for other food allergies to try to determine what potentially was creating her problem. The results came back, and in this particular case, she had an allergic response to blueberries, and she had a gluten sensitivity. And one of her breakfast meals was a blueberry smoothie every day. Now this little girl, just to give you a scope of the nature of her situation, she had a permanent stent embedded into her arm. Because she was in and out of the hospital so frequently, they permanently put in a stent so that they could IV her with fluids and save her life repetitively. So in this particular case, it took a few months of going gluten-free to really start seeing and reversing the pain and reducing the swelling and the inflammation within her joints. Her joints, primarily her knees, were affected. And so it really created a problem with her walking. Now, this was one of my very first patients in practice, and it was about 15 years ago. Today, this same girl is graduating from high school. She has the stent out of her arm. She's no longer on any medications, and her pain is absolutely at zero. And she's obviously not deceased. We gave her a new lease on life. I say no grain, no pain gave her a new lease on life. She's now in full remission and hasn't had a flare-up in a number of years. She's one of my favorite stories because she really molded and shaped the nature of my practice. There are points in life where we hit a crossroads, or we hit an aha moment, or we hit some kind of enlightenment, and it changes the direction of where we're going. And for me, that has to be definitely one of the highlight moments of my professional career as a doctor, taking care of patients with chronic autoimmune disease. It shifted the nature of the way I looked at things, the way I did things, the way I approached treatment. And from that point, it kind of set forth a platform for me really as a guideline, and it's created protocols for me moving forward with other patients where I've been able to get similar results. Patients come to me from all over the world with chronic autoimmune conditions that create a variety of different kinds of pain, whether it's joint pain, neurological pain, muscle pain, even some with hormone-induced pain like Hashimoto's hypothyroid disease, where their metabolism is so slowed down, their muscles start to shrink and their joints start to compress, and they start to develop pain as a result of a hormone disease. There are a lot of different kinds of chronic pain syndromes. There are a lot of different ways that pain can manifest. Pain can manifest, for most people, we think of pain and we think of this physical attribute. My knee hurts, or my shoulder hurts, or my neck hurts, a physical form of pain. But there's neurological pain, and there's psychological pain, pain of depression, and pain of frustration of not being able to find answers in your health. These are all forms of pain that I try to help people deal with and cope with and understand a lot better. So when you think of pain, don't just categorize pain as this physical manifestation of a problem. There are many forms of pain that can be addressed. So the question I have is, what is your pain, and what ails you, and what pains you? On that note, once you kind of figure that piece out, there's life at the end of the tunnel, there's light at the end of the tunnel, there's hope again. And I think the message that No Grain, No Pain brings forward is one of hope, it's one of enlightenment, it's one of education, and it's one that if you suffer with chronic autoimmune problems, it's one that you should have, and it's one that you should apply.